And good morning. Welcome to the Saturday Morning Huddle. Kenny Roda alongside John Bozeka. Week number 8 in the books, and we're going to break it all down for you here this morning on the Huddle. Some crucial games last night, exciting games last night. We've got highlights from various games that we were at that we covered on the different platforms at WHBC. We've got coaches coming in this morning to join us, John Bozeka. We got players coming in. We got our Marianne Donuts Sweet Play of the Week, the Community One Credit Union Player of the Week. We are jam-packed in the next hour.
We are. It's an exciting hour of Stark County High School football that's ahead of us. Week 8 did not disappoint. It normally doesn't at this point. Typically get really, really good football by the time that you get to week 8. And as you said, some really interesting things happened last night. Our radio game was great between Tuslaw and Fairless last night. Tuslaw came on the road and gave
Tuslaw Northwest.
Oh, Tuslaw and Northwest. I'm always thinking Tuslaw Fairless. That's always the first thing that comes to my head.
Right? Yeah.
That's right. Tuslaw Northwest. It was a great game. 13-12. Obviously, Northwest picks up a victory. We've got highlights from that. Our YouTube game last night, Canton South and Fairless. Canton South picks up a big win. Yeah. They're kind of teetering for playoff hopes at this point, just being 3-5, and they get a big win there. And then McKinley and Lake, a big Federal League duel. McKinley gets a share of the Federal League title with a win again last night, 24-21 over Lake. And week 8, it just never disappoints at this point because everything means a lot. It's like the playoffs have already started for all of these teams.
Yeah, our game, the Northwest Tuslaw game, a big Pac-7 game. Northwest trying to win the conference championship. John DeMarco will join us a little bit later on, and Joey Medor also scheduled to join us to talk about their thrilling 13-12 win. Our last 2 games, John, with the Freshmark Sugardale Radio Game of the Week. Last week, it was a 1-pointer. This week, it was a 1-pointer and extra points, special teams. As we get down to the nitty-gritty here late in the season, special teams matter with extra points, field goals, punt coverage, punt returns. If you don't spend a lot of time on special teams, it's going to come back to bite you. And some teams this year have lost games strictly because of special teams.
They really have. I was thinking about you last night during my game, too, because a combined 5 turnovers last night. What do you always say? The FIPS.
Yes.
Fumbles, interceptions, penalties. They will kill you. Last night, McKinley threw an interception. They had a fumble, and Lake threw 3 interceptions that ended up deciding the game last night. And, man, it was a tight one. It could have gone either way. Second week in a row, too. I said it at the end of the broadcast that Lake is 6-2. They've lost by a combined 6 points. McKinley is 6-1 now, 7-1 after last night. Right. In the last 2 weeks, they won by a combined 4 points. So it does not matter how you get it done. You just got to get it done.
I wrote down a quote from the newspaper from the McKinley Lake game from Dan DeGeorge. I'm tired of being close, man. And I understand that. I feel for Dan and the injuries they've gone through and everything. It's tough, and there's a small margin for error in a lot of these games. I really believe this year we have more parity in the teams that we cover, John, than in any other year. Because I don't see one team that is just like head and shoulders above everybody else, and a lot of teams are right there knocking on the door, and we're going to get into it all. So that's why this season has been so exciting. And what else is exciting for us is the fact that we get to bring you the Saturday Morning Huddle every Saturday morning live here at 10 a.m. And then you can rewatch it if you miss it live on demand, right on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel, but also Sunday morning at 10 a.m. on Rock Entertainment Sports Network as they rebroadcast the Saturday Morning Huddle right before their Browns tailgate show. So check that out. And thank you to all of our sponsors. AkronAutoAuction.com. Marianne Donuts will have the Sweet Play of the Week coming up shortly. But AkronAutoAuction.com, I went and did my first live auto auction with Chad Bailey, the owner, and it was an experience. Check them out online at AkronAutoAuction.com. We love Marianne Donuts. Nothing better, right, than waking up with a donut on a Saturday morning with a hot coffee or a hot chocolate or a cold coffee, whatever you prefer. So thank you again to Marianne Donuts. Community One Credit Union. We will announce our player of the week, brought to you by Community One Credit Union, coming up a little bit later on in the show. So thank you to them, back for another year on the Saturday Morning Huddle. D. Hoff Realtor, Ty Colucci, and Dirty Hands Excavating and Restoration. All of these sponsors mean so much to us because we want to give you the most complete coverage of your team and all the teams in and around Stark County. So thank you again to our sponsors, and thank you to Old Carolina Barbecue, Brian Bailey and Company, as we hand out our Old Carolina Barbecue Player of the Game for all the games we do, and those kids get a $25 gift card to go chow down at my favorite place when it comes to barbecue, Old Carolina Barbecue.
You know, Kenny, we talked about it last night that, McKinley had such a big opportunity going at home against Lake. And you just said it. That's a great quote from Dan DeGeorge about, I'm tired of being close, man.
Yeah.
Later on, too, hopefully I'm going to try to upload it while we're doing the show. But I got a video of, and I'll just tell people about it. But last night, Dan was playing catch with his son, Ty, before the game.
Okay.
They were on the field. I told them they had their Ray Kinsella, John Kinsella moment from Field of Dreams. And he did tell me, Dan did tell me that Ty is hopefully just a couple weeks away, that he's ahead of schedule, and that would make a big difference for them. I was going to say, though, we've had issues with the video with head coach Renzi Parnell and McKinley. And I told Renzi last night, I was like, we got to get this right. We got to get this right. And I told you this morning, they're going to get it right. And sure enough, there they are. Look at what we see. Look at these boys.
Well done, Coach. Good to put a face to the voice that we always hear on the Saturday Morning Huddle for all of the fans out there that have watched with us. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having us.
I told you.
Yep.
Kenny was like, we gotta have stuff ready. You never know. You can't assume. And I was
Coach,
like, I think
as a coach, you always have to have plan B just in case. So I was telling John, just in case, have those still ready to go. But here we are, bright and early, your smiling face, and tell our viewers and listeners out there who you brought with you this morning.
This is QB1 Trent Hayden.
How we doing? How's it going, Trent?
Trent, I mean, come on, man. A big win last night in a Federal League game like that against Lake. What was the game plan going in, and how did you feel you and the offense executed for your head coach?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we prepared well throughout the week. I thought we had one of our better weeks of practices. I think we're building week to week and better every week. But yeah, we watched our film, we studied up well, and I think we for most of the game we got what we thought we were going to get, and for most of the game I think we executed well, other than a couple big mistakes.
Coach, the game last night was so back and forth, and you guys are able to hold on at the end. Take me through the defensive effort that your team had. It seemed like they were on the field a lot, not in a bad way, but just because Lake was having those long time consuming drives. Tell me about the team's defensive effort last night.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we had some big moments where we stepped up, but hats off to Lake. They did a good job of keeping us on the field, to be honest with you. They converted on some third downs. They were to run the ball at times and keep us on the field. So hats off to them. I thought we did a pretty decent job of stepping up in some big situations, though.
Coach, as I look at your last two games, we did your game last week. John did your game last night. 2 wins, 4 points separating you from those two teams over the last 2 wins. What's been the key in these close games where your kids seem to find a way to pull it out as you've won 6 in a row now?
Yeah, continuing to believe, and then also learning how to make adjustments within the game. So those type of things you got to be able to do to win a tough football game.
Brent, I know last night that first drive, you start the game off, you throw an interception on the first drive. I could see the disappointment on your face. What did you do to put that behind you and have the game that you did from there on out?
Yeah, I mean, it's something you have to do. It's something I've learned over the years of playing. The worst possible thing for a team is having their quarterback down mentally, and that's I try my best to not let that be a factor and just keep moving forward, and that's I think what contributed to part of our win.
Well, you got to love the way you responded, Trent. I'm looking at your numbers, 17 of 22, a $191 in the air, and then a touchdown after that interception. I always like to give the quarterback an opportunity to give some praise to the guys who keep you clean and keep you upright and allow you to do those things. How'd you like the way your O-line played last night?
Yeah, I think a big thing was one of our linemen going down, and then different players filling in. I think we preach that throughout the week, being ready to certain players, and I'm always proud of them, but I'm especially proud of the guys that came in and filled their role.
Coach, I want to ask you about this young sophomore tailback that you have. He's on the screen right now. Kylan West. What makes this kid so special?
Yeah, he's got a special talent, man, and you can see his acceleration is beyond his years. And he's just getting started. He's only a sophomore. He's going to get better and better. But we trust him, we believe in him, and he responds every time we put the ball in his hand.
Brent, for you, how nice is it to have a guy like that that's a mate in the backfield that you can just depend on, that he's going to make a play?
Yeah. Well, obviously it's a weight off my shoulders having him run the ball. But I think the big thing that nobody sees is how bad he wants the ball. Like when he's on the sideline and he's sitting with the line watching film, like he's telling them, I need this ball. And that's a great thing to have as a sophomore. Because I know 2 years ago, my sophomore year, I wasn't, begging for the ball. And that's just a huge underrated thing to have mentally.
Coach, to have a quarterback, and I'm listening to him speak for the first time, right? And I can see why when you came here from Hoban, you wanted a signal caller there that you felt comfortable with and could trust. Talk to me about his preparation, if you will, and what he does each week to get ready for that next opponent, and then how he handles the in-game adjustments and the mistakes like he made yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best part, right, is he makes a mistake and he's able to throw it away and be ready for the next play. And in the game of football and the game of life, that's what you got to be able to do. As far as preparation goes, he's a leader on our team when it comes to preparation. They see how he prepares, and the team follows. So, I mean, just last week he was upset with me because I stepped out for lunch and he was trying to watch some film during lunch. So that's the type of guy I got, but it really helps us.
Trent, for you being the leader of the team as the quarterback, what do you try to put out there and show to lead by example to the other guys?
Yeah, I think it's just that it's putting out what I want to see in return. You know what I mean? So it's simple things like last week when we were lifting, I was warming up with something in my hand. I had a drink in my hand, and Coach Renzi got on me, and that's the stuff we need because they look to me to see what they should be doing. There's a difference between there's nonverbal and verbal leadership, and I think both are an extremely, extremely important part of being a leader. So I just try and put out what I want to see back.
Coach, how about that answer? I mean, right there, right? That's what you want, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Coach, for you, when you get on your quarterback or one of your best players, right, doesn't that also send a message to everybody else in there? Hey, the skill position guy, the sexy players, right? The coach is getting on them. So I better step in line too because I'm next, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It works that way. And the other thing is they feel accountable when he gets in trouble. Or when I'm on him, they feel that weight. And they want to step it up for him, so that doesn't happen to him. So it's a good thing.
Coach, 2 weeks in a row, such close games in the Federal League. This week is going to be enough, or another just absolutely tough battle. You close with Jackson and Massillon. It does not get tougher than that.
Right.
Tell me about Jackson. Tell me about getting ready for this week and keeping your kids at that high level after 2 tight games.
Yeah, I think that, well, first of all, Jackson is a very good football team, explosive offense, well coached. So it's going to be tough. A lot of good guys over there. But as far as keeping them there, I mean, it's week to week. I think the close wins will have helped us, to be honest with you, understand the importance that we got to put on these games. And it's also helped us get better at fighting. It's good to win a close game. You got to learn how to win those close games. You got to learn how to have a fight. You got to learn how to battle 4 quarters and not just a half. So all those things have built up to, our next game, and that's going to help us out.
All right, Coach. I've talked to a number of McKinley players from over the years, right? And they tell me this to a T. The toughest game to play is week 9 because everybody's looking ahead to the rivalry in week 10, that, it's a trap game. How will you as a coach, along with your coaching staff, make sure that your kids aren't looking ahead to try and snap that 9-game losing streak against Massillon in week number 9 when you're not even playing them?
Yeah, I think that, well, first of all, we've been preaching 1-0 since the beginning of the season. Second thing, I think games like these last 2 games we played make it easy, right? I mean, we could have easily lost those games. And, that helps us out as a staff, and it helps the team's mentality out. And they know we can't look ahead of anything, right? I mean, we just played, like you said, we just won 2 games by 4 points. So that helps us.
Trent, what do you have to do during that time to send the right message, to be the right leader in those moments, knowing that this is a trap game?
Yeah. I think the key is just keep doing what we're doing, because I think the second that we start changing what we're doing is when we start to look forward. And so I think keep working. Like I said earlier, over the weeks, I think we've been building, having better practices. And I think the key is just keep building and worry about, week 9.
Coach, I've been impressed with your team from the standpoint of building the culture that you wanted to build, right? The Parnell family. I heard you when I was on the side, Dad, get him over here. So you got the family working, right? Pops. I think it was Pops, get him over here, right? Okay. But building that culture, are you happy with the philosophy that you wanted to share with them and the kids grasping it now through 8 weeks going into the most important part of your season now?
Yes, I am. I mean, honestly, we've grown so much culture wise, but at the same time, we're not where we want to be yet. So yes, I am happy with the growth, but the job is not finished. We're not where we need to be. But we are taking steps in the right direction. I will say that. So we are climbing the ladder, and I'm proud of that.
Coach, you and I were talking on the sideline before the game last night. We're both Akron guys, and you spent time under Tim at Hoban, a lot of time there, but you were coached by a great coach at Garfield and Bill McGee. What lessons do you take from those guys that you've applied this year in your first 8 games as head coach?
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff we just talked about, the culture and how you build it. How to you got to, and sometimes you got to attack certain individuals differently, right? Because everybody's different, everybody feeds off you different. And then the other thing is coaching the coaches. I thought both of those gentlemen, Coach Terrell and Coach McGee, were really good at coaching the coaches and being leaders of men. So that's a part of it as well.
Guys, congratulations. You've already wrapped up a share of the Federal League title. You control your own destiny next week as far as winning it outright. And I'll ask both of you this. What would it mean to get an outright Federal League championship, Coach, for you in your first year, and Trent, for you in your first year there?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's a big accomplishment. It's one of our goals. We understand it's not the ultimate goal, but it's definitely nothing slight. I talk about how good the Federal League is, how well coached the Federal League is, so it means a lot.
Trent?
Yeah, I think again, we're always thinking 1-0, worrying about this week. But like he said, we have bigger aspirations. As much as we want to win what we got in front of us, a Federal League title is only part of our mission here.
Coach, I got to know this now too, because Coach Ewell, your wide receivers coach last night, said if he can't get the video right, come to me. Okay, come to me. How did you get the video right this morning?
Yeah, I was doubting you, Coach. I'm sorry. I admitted I was doubting you.
No, it's exactly what I said. It's the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi blocks me from getting it. So I used my phone hotspot, and it jumped right in.
There we go. Look at that.
He didn't even need an assistant. The assistant wanted to change the play. He shrugged them off, Kenny, and he said, "We don't need that. We don't need that. I got the play. I got it." Renzi and Trent, guys, great win last night. What an intense environment at Benson. Congrats on being 7-1, and hey, good luck moving forward, guys. And thank you for stopping by the Huddle.
Appreciate you having us.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Go Pups.
There we go. 1 for 1 today. How about that? Coach Renzi Parnell getting it done, and love the backdrop. You know, you see my Ohio State backdrop. Love the Bulldogs backdrop there, and a very impressive young man at quarterback there, Trent Hayden. And I can see why Renzi feels very confident when he's out on the field.
Yeah, it's incredible last night, Kenny. I think that so many times we see high school kids that are quarterbacks that, they get happy feet in big situations, or they panic, or they make the wrong play. And it seemed like Trent became more laser focused after throwing that interception. He went to a higher level. And the other thing too, and I was talking with their wide receivers coach last night, Joey Ewell, and he was saying it's tough out here, man. He said, We've got 19-3 on both sides, Darius Hill and DJ Britt. He said there's just as many talented guys behind them. Right. And he said we have to find ways to get them the ball as much as we can. And I got to tell you, Darius Hill, he impressed the heck out of us last night. 10 catches, over 100 yards, and a touchdown. He kind of Randy Mossed his defender a little bit, went over top of them. So, the Bulldogs are playing good ball, but this is the week that's always been the trap. Whether it's Perry over the years that they've played in week 9 or Jackson, It has always been the week that they go somewhere or they play at home and they fall victim to it. And they seem focused for it this year.
All right, let's move along to the game we had last night at Smilex Stadium. It was our Freshmark Sugardale radio game of the week, and it was a thriller, 13-12. And joining us right now is the outstanding head coach for the Indians, John DeMarco. And Coach, who do you have with you today?
Joey Madure.
All right, that's what I thought. Joey, talked to you last night briefly after the game. Always good to see a player come with the coach this morning. And so since you brought a player, I'm going to start with Joey, Coach, because he and I chatted briefly about, I don't want to call it a rivalry game, but maybe a revenge game, or having played for, Tuslaw and going against them last night, and you put up big numbers. You were our Old Carolina Barbecue player of the game, 165 rushing yards. How important was that win to you personally as well as for the school?
Really just trying to get back at them, get the last laugh. We knew it was going to be a chippy game. And just ended up coming out with the win.
Coach, for you having a kid that maybe has that extra inspiration, how do you use that? How do you maybe relay that to the rest of the team to maybe want to do it for this guy?
Well, we talked about that last Saturday when we got together for the first time, that this team's probably going to come in with a little chip on their shoulder and a little nasty, because not only we got Joey, but Logan Allman came from Tuslaw also. And I said they're going to be a little chippy and want to get after us a little bit. So we, if nothing else, we need to do it for these two. They've come into our program and just fit right in beautifully. They do a great job of leading. They're the hardest workers we have. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, they're out there just you watch them on Friday night, but they're like that through the week. And I said we owe it to these two guys, if nothing else, to motivate ourselves, have a great week of practice, and come out and have a good game.
All right, Coach, let's go back to last night. You and I chatted. It was a 6-6 game at halftime, right? And I lost you going into the locker room at halftime. There's your touchdown pass to Lazarus to score the first touchdown of the game. I lost you going into the locker room, so I grabbed you coming out, and I said, what did you say to your team? And you talked about effort, that you didn't like the effort that they were playing with in the first half. Did you see a big change after you passed along that message from last night?
Well, I don't know if I was necessarily disappointed with their effort. I just thought Tuslaw had more effort. Okay. I thought our effort was about the level that we had been playing at. I just thought Tuslaw brought it to another level, and I wanted us to reach their level. One of the difficult problems of last night's game was we had actually 5 possessions in the game outside of the possession where we ran the clock out after the onside kick. And we had 2 possessions the first half and basically 3 possessions the second half. We just had trouble getting into a little bit of a groove. They took the ball and they just grinded it out and just took up a lot of time, not necessarily on the clock and just time-wise. And you're standing on the sidelines, it's hard to get in a groove offensively. And when you get those third down plays on offense, you got to convert, because it might be a while before you see the ball again. I thought we needed to step our effort up a little bit, and I thought we did in the second half.
Joey, I got to ask you a question because you, Braden Venables, and your wide receiver and Logan Allman, none of you are the tallest guys in the world. You're all kind of small but mighty. Is that something that you kind of carry with you as you're playing on the field, that you're not the biggest guy on the field, but you outwork your opponent?
Yeah. A lot of people doubt me because of my size, but I don't let that affect me. I just play as hard as I can and I get the job done.
And coach, how nice is it when you have a hard worker like that and the way he runs in a meaningful game like that? I think you gave it to him 27 times last night. And like you said, you didn't have that many possessions. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Go to the guy that's churning up the yards and the clock.
Well, as we like to say, all of the guys up front were playing 27 times plus.
Okay.
So, that's his job, handing the ball 27 times. And, I've been known to do that a few more times if we need to be. And if last night was the case, we'd have done the same thing. It's nice to have a guy like that could take on that workload and just gets better as the game goes on.
And I got to ask Joey too, real quick here, John. You mentioned running out the clock, coach. I thought you scored, Joey, on that late run. I went back and looked at my video on my phone. It looked like you were in the end zone. What did the referee tell you? And did you think you got in the end zone? And, Coach, you can comment after that, too, what they told you.
I definitely thought I was in, but, I guess not. It ended up working out. We ran out the clock and won the game at the end. So,
Coach, what did the official tell you?
Nothing. A lot of what I heard all night.
Coach,
not a whole lot of feedback.
I was going to say it wasn't one of the most well officiated games, and they at one time they were starting their own podcast at the 50-yard line, trying to figure out what they called and what they were trying to issue the penalty for whatever team. So you overcame that. It was just such a weird game, like you said, Coach. We were done by 9:00. That game was over last night by 9:00. I asked you then, I'll ask you now since people are watching. Have you ever played in a game that fast before?
Well, it's the old Lake Perry game, with both teams just grinding it out. Those games are, and I've been involved in a couple of those games. So yes, it's been a while since I've been in that. I've been told that I like to throw the ball a little too much, and the games drag on to 10:00, 10:30, stuff like that. So it's been a while since I've been in one of those games, but yeah, it was fast.
Coach, I was just looking at your guys' wins this year. You gave up 0 to Marlington. You gave up 10 to Louisville. You obviously gave up 29 to Triway, but Triway showed that they're a really, really good football team. But then the last 4 weeks, 14, 13, 14, and 12, the defensive effort of this team, Coach, what makes that side of the ball so good for the Indians this year?
Well, our coaching staff it starts right with them. They're doing a great job. They're getting our guys in position to make plays. They work very hard and really doing a nice job. And then we got a lot of players back from last year, so it really helps having that experience. Our front guys, led by Colin Smith, and our linebackers, John Campbell, Jacob Garber, and Connor Stevenson, all played for us last year. So having that core back there, and then we got our safeties that are involved in our box play also with Logan Allman and Joey and Christian Breeden, really, really giving us a solid right in the middle, forcing teams to get outside on us or throw the ball a little bit. So it starts right there, and they're just really doing a nice job all the way around.
John, this game came down to a 2-point conversion with 4 minutes to go. Tuslaw, a long drive. They get it in the end zone. It's 13-12, and Brock Dial, who's doing a fabulous job turning that program around at Tuslaw in his second year, decides, you know what, we're on the road. We're going for the win here. And he goes for 2, and the pass falls incomplete. Coach, were you surprised by that they went for 2? And then what were you thinking defensively there on that 2-point conversion to try and get a stop?
Well, I was not surprised at all. I thought for sure he'd go for it. And you mentioned Brock Down. I think he's doing a great job there. We saw on film his teams have been playing really hard here as of late. They lost to Manchester and Triway both by 1 score. So we knew it was going to be a game. It was probably going to come down to the end. We were hoping it wasn't that much. What was I thinking defensively? I was mostly thinking about what we're going to do if they converted the conversion, because it's my job to go down and get another score. I really don't have anything to do with the defense, but our defense did a nice job. They sent 5 guys out. I thought we had all 5 guys covered. They tried to roll out, and Jacob Garber came off the edge along with Colin Smith and prevented their quarterback from being able to break contain and kind of forced him to step up and throw the ball. So it was a great call. It was a great execution. You know, your calls are only good as the execution was, and our defense executed very well what we needed to do and made a play or forced them not to make a play, however you want to look at it.
John, I'm going to jump in real quick again with a follow-up question. Were you surprised, Coach DeMarco, that Ethan Hare didn't run the ball more at quarterback, because they seem to have a lot of success with that?
They're having a lot of success with a lot of stuff they did.
Yeah.
They just did a nice job of grinding it out and chewing up the clock and getting yardage and mixing things up. I might have been a little surprised that they went to their spread package on the extra point as opposed to their full house package that they had, because we're having some trouble with that. But, you know, when you run an offense like that, it's hard when you have to get 3 yards on a play, whether or not you could get it or not. When you have 4 plays, which is what they were taking, 4 plays to grind out a first down, you got a little leeway in there for having an off play or something like that. So I don't know. It's a tough call offensively. You're going to stay with that, or are you going to spread it out and try to get guys in space?
Kenny, you know, something that we've forgotten to do so far here is that we don't just have Coach and Joey with us. We have a player of the week with us, don't we?
Absolutely.
The Community One Credit Union.
All right.
Player of the week, Joey Madore. Coach, this kid, we talked about him early, but, you know, coming over 1 year in, and he seems to be such a leader already. What does that say to the rest of the guys that he's kind of, you know, for lack of a better way of saying it, taking the ball and run with it? And that's kind of funny to say for a kid that's your running back.
Well, he never came in and first got here, started touting about what he's going to do and all this other stuff. He made it an effort for him to fit in and not the guys to fit in around him. And they saw his work ethic, whether it be in the weight room or on the practice field, during summer workouts, 2-a-days, just his work ethic. And they had no trouble accepting him. They said, hey, you know, he might not have been with us all along, but he fits right in with us and he's one of us. And so just the attitude that he came in with, that, you know, I'm not going to be the guy. I just want to be one of the guys. And I'm just going to work as hard, if not harder than everybody else, and show them that I just want to be a part of this.
Joey, congratulations on the Community One Credit Union Player of the Game last night and of the week here today. I'm just curious from your standpoint, how were you able to fit in so seamlessly? What was your approach to becoming just one of the guys, but now you're one of the feature guys?
When I came here, I just already had a lot of friends, you know, so talking to them a lot and just working as hard as I possibly can, fitting in, and everything's working out.
And Joey, I saw you in on defense. I saw you on special teams. I guess you're willing to do whatever coach needs, right?
Yep.
Coach, how nice is it to have a Swiss Army knife like
Oh,
that?
it's great. And, you know, we're Division IV school. So, you know, we ask all of our guys to do that. And they're more than willing. You know, Logan doesn't usually take a play off. And, you know, we got a few guys like that. They're just willing to go out there. Colin Smith plays every down for us on both sides of the ball, gives us great effort. And we got a lot of guys 1.5 ways that got to sub on the other side and play special teams. And they're willing to do it. You know, it's their senior year. They want to win and they want to go out as a winner, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get there.
Kenny, I have just one more question for Coach DeMarco. The room that they're in right now, there's a Los Angeles Chargers flag behind them. I always love asking the coaches and the players what's going on behind them. Coach, why Los Angeles Chargers? Are you a big Justin Herbert guy?
Well, I would like to tell you what's going on, but I've been having trouble. The last couple of times I've got on, I haven't been able to get the camera to work. I haven't been able to get internet access. I think I've been in every building in the district trying to find Wi-Fi. When Logan and I were on a couple of weeks ago, we were actually sitting in the parking lot of one of the buildings in folding chairs just so that we can get an audio. We are currently in Eric Sarball's room, who got us set up. So that's Eric Sarball's poster back there, the Chargers. So I really have no idea what's going on.
Coach, you're in first place, tied for first place in the Pac-7. You got 2 weeks left. How do you maintain this level of play and come away maybe as the outright Pac-7 champ this year? Well,
The best team on our schedule this week is Fairless, and we got to take care of business right there. So, our goal is always to win Friday night. So that's what we're looking at right there, and we'll see where we're at the end of next week and where we're headed. But right now, our sights just set on Fairless and making sure that we're not looking anywhere else and take care of that business.
And one more thing for both you guys, because I stayed after the game and I watched. It was senior night, right? So last home game in the regular season for the seniors there at Northwest. And Coach and Joey, both you comment on this, if you will. I saw you guys. It looks like you have a tradition where you walk the length of the field and then come back. Coach, tell me a little bit about that. And then Joey, you can chime in on what that meant to you.
Well, I've started that a little while ago, just walking down there, and as we walk down, I try to get the players to reflect about when they started their football careers back at the youth league. And as we're actually walking, we're walking towards the youth field, even though we can't see it across the hill, and tell them to reflect on that. And then when we get down to the end, I like to talk to each one of the seniors and say something to them and shake their hand and tell them I appreciate what they've done. But then we turn around and we see our home crowd down there and our fans, and it really gets you.
Yeah.
It's just a great, I hope a great tradition we started. And now we have the cheerleaders join us and the band, all senior members, just so we can reflect back on our life up until our senior year and where we're headed from that. And also to let them know when we turn around, we're looking at everybody down there, to be appreciative of those people, because those are the people that gave us the opportunity to be where we are at that time.
I love that, Coach. And Joey, what did that mean to you being a part of that yesterday?
It's just nice to, walk the field one last time, take everything in, see all the students, the parents, just all the fans, just great to see everyone.
Guys, congratulations. Great win yesterday. A thriller, 13-12 over Tuslaw. Best of luck the rest of this season. We'll see you guys down the road.
Thank you. And we always
you.
appreciate it when you guys make it out our way. And thanks for having us on this morning.
And here's a hello to Jason Hathaway, too. Hopefully he's feeling better this morning, Coach. We missed him on the sidelines, and you guys always treat us well. So get well, Jason, all right?
Yes, get well, but I got a little more free time without him around.
Thanks, Coach. See you, Joey.
See you.
I can't believe it every year, Kenny, that Pac-7 race is always so tough. And the fact that they are the lone standing undefeated within the pack right now, wins over Triway.
Oh, that's right.
Wins over Canton South, wins over Orville, and a win over Tuslaw, because last night Triway went to or had Manchester at home. They didn't just win last night over Manchester either, Kenny. They won 49-7 last night over Manchester. That was a really impressive win. That's a tough league to play in, and we're gonna talk to another guy that's a part of that league here right now. 2 years ago, we were talking to this guy almost every day because he was the talk of the county with the guys that he had on that roster. And now this year, a couple years later, that's Matt Dennison, the head coach of the Canton South Wildcats, and of course, Braylon Conley joining him here. Coach, thanks for stopping by the Huddle, and congrats on the win last night over Fairless.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It was a good, solid win for us, and it was a fun win. It was a little bit back to my historic roots last night. We ran the heck out of the football and did a great job with that, and defense played stellar again.
Coach, after a somewhat slow start, you guys have really turned it around and come on as of late. For those of us who maybe haven't seen you on a week in, week out basis, what's changed from week 1 now through week 8 when you want to be playing your best football?
Well, we've played well all year, but we haven't played consistent all year. And when you play a schedule like we do up at the front end, you've got to be consistent. You got to be consistent early, and that's what hurt us. We stood toe to toe with CVCA. We made some big mistakes against them. Akron East is a game we let get away. we had some injuries. I'm a next man up guy, so I don't like to talk about injuries. But we played a little shorthanded against Manchester, and we're driving to take the lead to start the fourth quarter. We're driving to take the lead to start the fourth quarter against Northwest, and we haven't just been finishing. And now I think that's we're getting to that point where we're finishing some stuff. We're becoming a much better gelled team, and I think. Playing that tough schedule early, and we looked at our first 4 of our first 5 opponents going into last week had a total of 3 losses on their schedules. So we play. I feel we play one of the toughest schedules around, and we do that so that we can. It's all about winning the playoffs, and now we've got to put ourselves into the playoffs the next 2 weeks. But I think we'll be battle tested, and I think we're very battle tested going into this stretch run.
Braylon, last night, 29 times you toted the rock over 190 yards and a touchdown. The confidence that your coach has in you to give you the ball that many times, what does that say to you, and what kind of confidence does that give you?
I mean, it just shows me that the coaches know what I can do, and I feel like every time I touch the rock, I feel like I should do what I got to do for my team to win. Work for my boys, deal blocks, and I feel like we do good, make it run with it.
And what about the guys up front, Braylon, who are doing the dirty work for you to get the limelight, right?
Yeah, I told them after the game, I told them they did some good blocks. I was proud of them. We make mistakes here and there, but we pick them up, do better every play. And I felt they did a good job last night. Good blocks for me. Made some good runs.
Coach, I don't know that people know it, but in the 2 deep that you normally send out, you don't list Braylon as Braylon. You list him as B-Dog. Why do you list Braylon as B-Dog, Coach?
Because he put that on Huddle. That's his name on Huddle, so I guess I got to roll with it. That's how he is in the stat line. So I'm not smart enough to change the computer stuff from Huddle, so that's where we're kind of stuck with that. And that's what everyone calls him as B-Dog. So that's what he's gone with his whole life. So.
All right, B-Dog, where's that come from? Tell us. Let the dog out of the bag, if you will, on this one.
All right, so beginning of the year, I always I like contact, so it was just always a thing. So I always had that dog, you feel me? So it's just like everybody, So I got a friend named Butterball, Gavin Freeman. He's always called me these weird names, and ever since he came up with this B-Dog name, and everybody just called me that since then.
He's got that dog in him, Coach.
That's right.
You gotta. Hey, but all joking aside, those are the guys you want in your foxhole, right? Like you want the guys that have that dog in them, right, Coach?
Absolutely. We talk about that a lot. And we at Canton South are not known for being like a physical team. And that's what I like to pride our team on. My whole career, I've liked to pride on toughness. And we're developing that toughness here at South. And, we played really good defense last night. We were running the ball very effective. I mean, last night was, we threw the ball 8 times. And that's we were 6 for 8 for 100 yards. But we ran the ball effectively, and we ran the ball like we really had this. It was a perfect night for me. It was kind of cool because my dad and mom were able to come, and I don't know how many more games they're going to be able to get to. That might have been the last one they might ever be able to get to, and to run the ball the way we did and run ISO and power. That was kind of nice because he was standing down there in the end zone. And it was the type of football he liked.
And Braylon, for you, knowing that you're going to be featured like that, and as the game goes on, you continue to be featured. Take us through what it's like to maybe be in that zone, right? This is your game to go out there and do what you did last night.
I don't really have much to say, but I feel like once I have that mentality, I feel like letting the team, we get down a lot sometimes. So I feel like me doing my job, I feel we're going to pick up. I always motivate my teammates. And I feel like making a good run, putting us in good yard position, I feel like, I don't know, it puts me in a good position. I feel like I can just get a good run every time I get the chance to.
Coach, the confidence that you have in your quarterback, Brody Beagle, he's still just a junior, but he made a great throw last night to Therese Conley and had, I think, 2 rushing touchdowns in the game as well. He's grown a lot, hasn't he? You and I have talked about him. He continues to grow each year, doesn't he?
Yeah, he continues to grow each year, and he's done a really good job. And that's the nice thing. The nice thing is we're sitting with two really good quarterbacks. And last night, was Brody's night, and he's played well the last last 3 weeks, and really, we keep it simple, keep the simple reads for him, and when he's focused, he's really, really good. He makes all the throws. And that's the thing. We didn't even get to showcase a lot of the stuff. We weren't in 10 personnel hardly at all, and we're a really good 10 personnel team. And but what we did was right now offensively. We've been moving the ball very effectively offensively, and because we've been taking what they give us, we eliminate the mistakes. That's when we're very good, because they gave us a 5 and a 6 man box last night, and our offense was good enough to say, okay, we're just going to run the ball tonight, and they didn't get out of it, so we didn't get out of it. And Brody made some really good throws, made one really bad one, but that's all right. He owned it. He threw the wrong route, and all of his balls, but one were caught last night, and the one that wasn't caught was dropped. So he could have had every ball caught. Unfortunately, one was by the other team, but 7 of them went to the good guys. But he makes really good decisions. And then running the ball. When we go 1 back, we're a 2 back, and that makes things really, really difficult for the defense, because our 1 back, we ran quarterback ISO probably 8 times last night. And, that's the one thing about Braylon. He is as good of a blocker at tailback as I've ever had. He loves to block. So and Brody's our backup one of our backup tailbacks. And when he can really run the ball, and that spread the field, and then you can still run it. And we're in 10 personnel. That's even more dangerous. And we didn't have to do that last night.
I got to follow up, because I saw Coach said that Braylon's one of the best blocking backs he's ever had, and I saw Braylon's eyebrows go up. He immediately reacted to that. Braylon, why do you like blocking? You just like hitting another guy?
I mean, yeah, I feel like it helps a lot, opens up gaps, and helps good yard position.
Braylon, how do you carry on what you guys did yesterday into next week's game against a very good Tuslaw team?
I feel like we should have a good week of practice. Get through our reps, be sharp. I feel like we'll be all right. Defensive side, I feel like there's some mistakes that we had. Flow through the ball, pursuit better, stuff like that. Little stuff like we could fix and get better and fix from that. And be able to be ready for next Friday.
Coach Braylon, B-Dog, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being on the Saturday morning huddle. We always appreciate when you guys stop by. It's your first time this year, and hopefully we'll do it again soon here in a couple weeks, Coach.
Great. Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely.
B-Dog and Coach D. How about that? Matt Dennison and B-Dog getting it done last night. And Canton South, they know they've got to win the next 2, right? If they want to make a playoff push and get to 500, finish the season 5-5, and see how everything plays out as far as the computer points and everything along those lines, John. So good win for them last night, a much needed win for them.
It was a huge win for them last night, and as you said, it was needed for them to keep the confidence building this year, because they've had a solid year. It hasn't been exactly what they've wanted in the win-loss column, but
right.
They kept it tight with Manchester. They were right there in the game with Northwest, only lost by 10. Outside of the loss to CVCA by 28 and the loss to Triway by a couple scores, they've been right there with absolutely everyone that they've played with. So Coach always does a great job.
Yeah.
And it's always great when we can talk to him. Another team though, Kenny, that has done an unbelievable job this year, literally the best job that anyone has done at the school in over 10 years, is the Minerva Lions. And that's thanks large in part to their new head coach this year, my Greek brother in Zach Slates, who is now 5-3 after a win last night over Marlington. Coach, thanks for joining us. Who do you have with us, Coach?
This is Skylar Lab.
What's up, Skylar? Congratulations on the win last night. How'd that feel?
It felt pretty good. Beat a EBC team, so that's always a good thing. Good way to get a win under our belt.
And Coach, what about that? That's the first EBC win in a while. I won't even go how many years, but what's that mean to you in your first year and for the community?
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, it's great for these seniors. and the community getting that first EBC win since 2019. So it was great. Getting that off their shoulders and being able to get one under our belt, it was great. Getting the 500 for sure, getting the 5 wins, that's great. And we got another week this week, so another EBC team, and it's tough, and they're all tough teams, and we got to get back and prepare.
Coach, this team, this story that you guys have had this year, I was talking to your assistant coach Tim Wolf when I was there a couple weeks ago, and he said that winning that first game earlier this year against Crestwood was as special a thing as he's experienced in his career. For you, what has this been like on your end? Has this matched anything that you've done in your career?
Yeah, I memean, this is unbelievable. I mean, coming in here in February and getting with the team, and it was like, oh boy. And it was a long road, and getting some of these guys out, like Skylar's a kid that hasn't played in quite a few years. Coming out as a senior, it's not always easy when you're playing other sports and doing other things. And I commend some of these guys that came out and are helping us and doing a great job. The senior leadership has been great. They've been bought in. They haven't questioned us, and they've followed our lead on things and continue to fight and continue to get better each week.
Skylar, what did he say to convince you to come play?
He told me he needs someone to play defense, and I was all for it. Coming out, I didn't really know what I was stepping into. I was kind of just being told, what I need to do, what my job was, and I'm the type of guy that if you tell me something I need to do, I'm gonna do it. So I came out and gave it all I had, and just put my best foot forward for him.
Skylar, you're not the only one that came out this year. Again, Coach Wolf and Zach, you've told me about this, but you and your basketball teammate Owen Schick are both out on the team this year, and you haven't played ball in a while. You're going to get toughed up a little bit and roughed up a little bit with basketball on the horizon for Coach Hart. What was it like to have another teammate come with you and be part of that, Skylar?
That was a really big factor to all this kind of playing out how it did. All of us were kind of shaky on it at first. We were like, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? And once we all came together, we're like, all right, you know what? If we're going to do this, we're all going to do it. We're going to come out and do it. We stick to it. And I think that's a really big reason why we were able to kind of glue ourselves together and stay in this position. So, and it's all working out. So I'm glad we did it.
Zach, I don't know, man. Sounds like a political career might be in the offing somewhere down the road. If you can convince kids like that to come out and believe in what you're selling, what about that down the road?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I love me some politics, but I don't think that life's for me. They've been great.
Coach, being 5-3 after this team hasn't experienced winning in so long, what has that been like to see the kids experience that? Because ultimately that's why you're in this, right? Is to better these kids' lives and to teach them lessons. What has that been like to watch them experience that, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, seeing them grow as individuals is the most rewarding part, and the wins are great. The wins are a byproduct of what we're trying to teach these kids. And I always tell them, like, the scoreboard, that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about doing the little things in life. And all this stuff, if you don't do the little things in life, you'll never get that promotion in a job. You'll never be able to find a wife. You'll never be a great father. You'll never be a great husband. So if they learn that at a young age and through sports, and that will set them up to be great young men, great men as they get older, great fathers, and things like that. So just paying attention to the little things, the details, and they know that we're bought in as coaches and we're doing everything we can. It's easier for them to follow that. So just preaching the little things and moving on, and bad things are going to happen in football, bad things are going to happen in basketball, bad things are going to happen in life. It's going to be how you respond and how you react and what you do to that adversity that you face.
Happy to have with us Skylar Lab from Minerva, their head coach, Zach Slates. They beat Marlington 7-0 last night. First 500 season, coach, in the regular season guaranteed since 2013. I'm curious, what type of goals did you have for this team at the beginning of the season? And are you one to, check them off on a whiteboard in that and talk about them? Or is it just, no, it's week to week, we want to go 1-0?
Yeah, I mean, when I first took the job, it was, hey, if we can get 2 wins, it'll be a start in the right direction. And as we got through the summer, it was like, man, I hope we can get 2 wins. And then we got to August, and it's like, oh, maybe we can get a couple. And then as we get to the season, we're closer to the season. It's like, well, maybe we can get 4. And then it's maybe we can get 5. Maybe we can get a EBC win, sneak one in there. And now it's just week to week, and it's one game at a time. And we're worried about winning the next one. So the kids have bought into that, and the coaching staff has been great. You mentioned Tim Wolf; he's done a great job with our defense with another shutout last night. Our kids bend but didn't break, and we had a ton of penalties that we had a lot of adversity with last night, and he's laughing because we watched the film this morning and saw some of them. So it was pretty interesting.
Skylar, you're shaking your head and you're laughing during all of that. So, what were you thinking? Give us an idea of what it's like as a player. You're in a film session. You know the stuff's going to hit the fan because of that, and what it's like to be in the room with coach and get corrected on all of that.
I mean, it kind of sucks because, there might have been a big play. We might have a 40-yard run and you get a holding call or something like that. And, it's your fault. But at the same time, maybe didn't really feel like it was, supposed to be that kind of call. But, we talk it through and, get it fixed, maybe what we could have did better. So it's not like a super negative thing. But, it's not the best feeling in the world to know that maybe you're the reason a play got pulled back or something. And that goes for everybody.
Skylar, was it more exciting scoring the touchdown last night or pitching the shutout on the defensive side?
I will have to say I was excited to score my first touchdown, my first varsity touchdown. Kind of came with a bang after it, though. Definitely learned my lesson about to the end zone. I will say, though, that the shutout was definitely really exciting. That really gets my blood pumping whenever we're on our goal line and these guys are really trying to score on us. They're coming out as hard as they can. There's not very many things that compare to that in life, I'll say.
Coach, how rewarding has this been for you to be a part of this? I mean, to know that you've taken a program that is so proud with tradition, and even if it's just instilling it for a couple weeks, knowing that winning is back at Minerva, how proud does that make you, and what has that been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. It's been exciting to see these kids grow and see them have that success. And I mean, we ripped the victory bell rope the first week we rang it, so we had to put a new rope up there because it hadn't been rung very much. But no, the community's been great. Like last night, we came back after being at Marlington, turned the lights on. There was probably 100 people there watching us ring the bell when we got back. So that was exciting. Seeing the community's been great. I mean, everybody said that from the beginning, and from the moment I took the job and got here and started coming to things, it's been unbelievable. The support that the community has given to us and given to me individually. I mean, it's been great. And seeing them show up every week and be supportive and support these kids. I mean, that's the number one thing. And seeing these kids be able to find the success before they graduate.
Kenny, I have one follow-up for Zach because I want to ask him about this. A couple weeks ago before we did the West Branch game, Coach, you said that you went to the VFW and there's a group of old-timers that gets together for coffee. And you said there's an old guy, he's 99 years old, named Skipper. Does Skipper talk to you after every game?
We talk when I get over there. Yeah, we talk and they give us pointers. They let us know what the village should be doing to make it better, what we need to be doing in the football program to make it better. So it's good to see those guys and they love it. They enjoy it and they're soaking it in too. I mean, with the success we're having. So that's been great to see some of those guys really get involved and be enjoying the coming to the games and doing that stuff. There's a guy, Pork, that's there at the coffee club, and he's been doing the chains for 50 years here. And it was unbelievable. They awarded him a couple weeks ago for 50 years on the chain crew. It's pretty cool. You don't find that at every place. So seeing guys like that are in it for the long run and supporting through the good times and the bad times. And you've seen a lot of football, good and bad here.
Skipper and pork. I mean, come on. Better than that, Coach. I mean, come on. That's something out of like Ted Lasso. You know what I mean?
It's like Cheers down there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Kenny, we've had B-Dog Conley this morning, we've had Skipper, and we've had Pork. It's the morning of nicknames on the Saturday morning huddle. Coach, we're so happy for you. I know we say it every time, but we're just also happy for you. And in the media, everybody has always been rooting for you guys to get this right. And the fact that you're doing it, and we've known you for so long. And Skylar, we're equally as happy for you being able to experience the success here. And always, guys, thanks for stopping by on the huddle.
Thanks. It's about these kids, man. It's about them buying in, and they've been the reason why we've changed it. It has nothing to do with me. I bring what my system, and they're the ones that have to buy into it.
And Skylar, congrats on that first touchdown. Hopefully there's more to come, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Oppa! I love it, man. What a great story, right? Goes there and, 30-some game losing streak over the last few years. They get a win last year, but then he comes in, doubles the win total within the first couple of weeks, and now they're 5-3, 1-2 in the EBC, and they've got 2 more regular season games to go. So what a great job Zach Slates has done there.
Yeah, I mean, and what's even cooler for them, and again, it's a tough road coming in. They go to Alliance next week, who had a marathon game last night at West Branch and lost 34-28. But they go to Alliance, then they close with Carrollton at home. And if they went out, Kenny, their destiny could include a playoff game, which, I think it would be hard. It would be hard to vote anyone else in my mind as coach of the year. It's already going to be hard in my mind to vote anybody else as coach of the year other than that gentleman right there. Being 5-3 after the years that they've had, it's been an incredible run and turnaround. All right, we have one more thing that we need to get to from last night. And
well, actually, a couple of things, but one big thing here, and you picked this Marianne Donuts sweet play of the week. So take it away, John, with our play that stood out this week.
Yeah, I really like this. You said before we came on, bad night for Fairless, but a great play by their DB, Antrell Hunter. Picks it off at the 3, makes a guy miss. Watch him. He's got the convoy going down the sideline, knows no one's going to touch him, gets an extra block at the end, and he celebrates with his boy John Hill when he gets to the end zone. 97 yards, Antrell Hunter. Tough night for the Falcons, Kenny, but this play makes it a little bit sweeter for them.
Yeah, and it is our Marianne Donuts sweet play of the week. Anytime you get a pick 6, it's sweet. But to take it 97 yards down the sidelines and have some of your buddies running with you all the way there and celebrating in the end zone like that, definitely a sweet feeling for any high school kid to have that happen to them. And read it, caught it, and then off to the races, man. Great job there. And like we said, a tough loss for Fairless, 31-14 to Canton South. But Antrell Hunter with that pick 6 for 97 yards. And throw those donuts up on the screen, too. I need to go get me some after we're done here this morning.
We do. The donuts are always good. Thanks to Marianne Donuts, and thanks to Danielle and the folks over there for helping to sponsor the huddle and be a part of it each week. Obviously, the Saturday morning huddle brought to you in part by them. We can't do it without them. Kenny, I was going to say, too, this early part of the pick here, this is a little Chris Berman right here, isn't it? The whoop right there.
Yeah,
makes the guy miss at the start.
And he could go all the way, and he does. And that was one of the best plays for Fairless last night. Throw those donuts up again, John, because we got to give them some love. Marianne Donuts back with us Friday nights, hard hits, big plays, and Marianne Donuts. Nothing says football in Canton like a box of fresh donuts and hot coffee from Marianne's Donuts, pumpkins, football-shaped donuts, all the fall favorites and flavors that keep fans going strong. Marianne Donuts, Canton's game day tradition since 1947. If you've been around that long, you're doing something right. And so shout out to Marianne Donuts for being a part of the huddle. And here it is one more time, the Marianne Donuts sweet play of the week. And John, we've got to take a look in and around Stark County. So you can just roll a bunch of highlights here because I want to give some love to all the teams that were victorious and some of the other players that had big nights last night in and around Stark County. We talked about Joey Medor for Northwest. He had a big night, 27 carries, 165 yards, and a touchdown. That was Abram Lazarus with a touchdown grab there on the pass from Braden Venables for Northwest. So Northwest gets the win, a nice victory for them, and they control their own destiny in the Pac-7 of winning that outright. But how about this play? There's Joey Medor, our Community One Credit Union Player of the Week for his efforts last night. McKinley beats Lake last night, 24-21. Kylan West, 116 yards rushing and a touchdown. Trent Hayden, 17 of 22. There he is, number 7, the quarterback. $191 in the air, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And his receiver, Darius Hill, 10 grabs for 106 yards and a touchdown for McKinley as they improve to 7-1 overall, 5-0 in the Federal League. They own a share of the title already this year. That's 4 years in a row. They can win it outright next week with a win over Jackson. Hoover, though, hoping maybe for Jackson to pull off the upset next week because Hoover's 7-1, 3-1 overall in the, or I should say 3-1 in the Federal League, 7-1 overall. They beat Perry last night, 35-21. Jack Andes comes back from the concussion a week earlier against McKinley. How about these numbers? Andes, 10 catches, 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the guy throwing him the ball, John Collins, 15 of 19, 206 yards and those 3 touchdowns as Hoover gets a 35-21 win over Perry last night. Jackson, speaking of the Polar Bears, thought it might be a trap game for them before the McKinley game. No, they take care of Glen Oak 21-10. Corey Jacobs emerging as one of the top players in Stark County this year after being moved from wide receiver to running back. Corey Jacobs, 33 carries, 154 yards, and a touchdown for Jackson last night. And Carter Molman in at quarterback again, 18 of 32, $152, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Javion McClendon had a nice game for Glen Oak in a losing effort, 11 carries, 51 yards, and the score. Sergeant Hulka, as I like to call him, the big toe for the Green Bulldogs, Tyson Hunka, their quarterback, continuing to put up big numbers, 133 yards rushing yesterday, John, and a touchdown. He also threw 2 touchdown passes. Gabe Stouffer in a losing effort as Green beat Louisville 27-14. Gabe Stouffer, 2 TD runs and 140 yards passing for the Leopards. Massillon, now 5-3. They beat Cornerstone Christian out of Texas. Final score there was 45-20. Manny Patterson, 5 of 8, throwing it for 71 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also ran for a touchdown. 2 100-yard rushers for Massillon yesterday. Anthony McMullen, 23 carries, 130 yards and a touchdown. Christian Culler, 11 carries, 102 on the ground, and 2 TDs. And we got to give some love to Jaden Williams, one of the best defensive players in Stark County. 11 more tackles, 2 sacks yesterday for Massillon. Other games, we just talked to head coach Zach Slate's Minerva 7-0 over Marlington. Skylar Lab with the game's only touchdown. But how about Timothy Kirkpatrick? 24 carries in that wing T offense, 187 on the ground. First 500 regular season for Minerva since 2013. They are guaranteed to be at least 500, and their first EBC win since 2019. So Zach Slate's doing some great things there for Minerva. Canton South beat Fairless 31-14. Braylon Conley, we heard with Coach Dennison. He was on with the Huddle earlier today. 29 carries, 184 yards, and a touchdown. Their quarterback at Canton South, Brody Beagle, 95 yards and 2 TDs rushing. He also threw a touchdown pass to Torres Conley, who had 6 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. It was all working for the Wildcats. Cam Carl with a touchdown in a losing effort for Fairless. And also Antrell Hunter with the sweet play of the week for Marianne Donuts, that pick 6 of 97 yards. East Canton, Spider Miller and the boys, they blank Tuskegee Central 42-0. They led 34-0 at the half. Quarterback Owen McCroskey with 3 touchdown passes in that win. East Canton now 6-2 overall on the season. Claymont beat Sandy Valley 43-3, 0-8. Tough year for Sandy Valley. Richmond Heights knocked off St. Thomas 28-7. St. Thomas 0-8. And maybe the game of the night, West Branch and Alliance. John Bozeka 34-28. West Branch pulls it out to take the lead in the EBC. The Warriors led 20-0 in the first half. Alliance, a hell of a comeback. They had the ball down 34-28, turned it over on downs. So give West Branch the credit. They found a way to win again over Alliance, and I know that's rubbing those kids the wrong way. They haven't beaten them in a lot of years. J.R. Jackson, though, another solid game, 16 of 26, 218, 3 touchdowns, but uncharacteristic, 2 interceptions for J.R. yesterday. And Grady Hurst, got to give him some love from West Branch, 16 of 22, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns throwing, and 1 touchdown running in the game. And Jeremiah Thomas, huge game for West Branch, 70-yard punt return. He also had a touchdown run, and West Branch gets that win.
You know, we saw Jeremiah a couple weeks ago against Minerva and really wondered if that would translate against some of the better teams. I know he's an outstanding player. He was their best player last year, and he's a great basketball player as well, and was part of their state championship baseball team 2 years ago as well. So he's just a kid that knows how to play. He knows how to get the job done, and doing that against a really, really good Alliance team is really saying something about them. Kenny, I can't believe we're into week 8. I'm going to say this now, too, that next week, Kenny and I will be presenting to you all of the computer rankings through Joe Itel as well. We're going to present that on the screen to you. We'll show you that. We'll go region by region of important regions here in Stark County. So we tell you after week 9 where everybody sits. It's unofficially, of course, thanks to Joe Itel, but you know, maybe sometime too we could get Joe to stop by the Huddle and talk about the process that he does. I've never talked to Joe.
That'd be great.
I've known his site for years. I would argue, Kenny, it might be the most visited site in Ohio during the high school football season. I mean, it's incredible how much time I spend on that site.
Yeah, he does a great job with it. So, yeah, let's try and track him down. And I look forward to breaking those down next week. Shout out to Sue Mott. She's watching. Hi, Sue. And Sue was instrumental in getting the Huddle off the ground a number of years ago. And we appreciate all she did for us and the fact that her and her husband Dave still watch. Thank you, Sue, for everything that you did. And thanks for continuing to watch.
When my dad was the class president at Lehman back in '73, Sue was his vice president. So Sue is in the family, the Bozeka family. She holds a very important place in the Bozeka family.
John, let's throw our sponsors up there one more time because, like I said, this isn't possible without the sponsors, and we love having them all. I'll follow your lead. You throw them up, and I'll tell everybody about them. Akron Auto Auction, check them out online, akronautoauction.com. Chad Bailey and his staff. Like I said, I took in my first auction this past Tuesday. I was blown away by it. If you're in need of a car, yes, it's open to the public at 8:30 on Tuesday mornings. Check them out at akronautoauction.com. So thank you, Chad Bailey. And Marianne Donuts, we already talked about them with the sweet play of the week. I mean, I love Marianne Donuts being a part of the Saturday morning huddle. It's the perfect combination to get caught up on all things high school football in Stark County. And what better way to do it than with a donut, whatever your favorite flavor is, and however you like your coffee. Marianne Donuts, high school football, WHBC, classic Canton traditions. And Community Credit Union, Community One Credit Union, we love that they said, yes, we want to be a part of the Saturday morning huddle, and we want to sponsor the player of the week. And there it is for this week, Northwest senior Joey Medor, 165 yards rushing and a touchdown, played offense, defense, and special teams. And when it comes to money, Community One Credit Union is always on your team. They've got the plays that make life easier, from loans to checking, online banking, mobile services to youth accounts, everything in between as well. Community One Credit Union, where community comes first, membership open to everyone in Stark County. And again, our Community One Player of the Week, Joey Medor. So thank you to those sponsors. And John, you can take the next two because they are new to the huddle this year, but just as important.
Yeah, Ty Colucci, the folks at DeHoff Realty, we couldn't do it without them. You can reach out to Ty, 888-315-3570 if you would like to call him, and whether you're buying or selling your home, he'll be able to help you out. You could also email him at the email on the screen right now. But Ty is a big supporter of high school athletics in the area, as is DeHoff Realty. Could not do it without them. If the name sounds familiar too, it should. Carson Colucci was a relative of his from a couple years ago at Fairless. And then, hey, Dirty Hands Excavating and Restoration LLC. Brandon Carl has been getting his hands dirty for a brighter future. And his son Cam this year has been getting his hands dirty a lot. He's actually leading the county in receiving right now for Fairless, having an incredible year as Cam Carl. And we could not do the Saturday morning huddle without the help of Brandon and the folks at Dirty Hands Excavating and Restoration LLC. Kenny, week 8 in the books. We're going to break the huddle, and you got to go watch the Buckeye game.
We got Ohio State, Illinois today at 12 noon on WHBC. Sunday, 1 o'clock, Browns Steelers week. Dylan Gabriel making his second start playing in Pittsburgh. Shador Sanders as the backup quarterback now that Joe Flacco will be starting for the Cincinnati Bengals at Green Bay. Crazy week for the Browns. And a bummer last night, since we're talking Stark County stuff. I stayed up, John, all 15 innings.
I did too.
In Detroit, the Tigers and the Mariners. And I thought for sure our guy, Dylan Dingler, former Jackson, basketball, baseball, and Stark County Player of the Year in football. He had 2 big hits in those extra innings, but they couldn't score him last night. And then the Mariners ended up winning in 15 innings.
Well, and even bigger than the hits that he had a dynamite throw out at second. I mean, it was, guys, when I say that the throw was on time, the throw was there like a full half second before the guy from the Mariners slid in. I mean, what a throw by Dylan. It's so great to see him having success at the major league level. And as you said, whenever they called I forget, I think it was Adam Amin who was on the call last night. Whenever he would say Dingler lines one to left, I was like, man, I remember doing that when it was Dingler, the catcher for the Jackson Polar Bears, lines one to left. So it's so cool to watch him succeed. And hey, that's why we do this though, Kenny. Zach Slade said it's about the kids. That's why we do this, and we follow them even as they go to the pros, as Dylan is doing right now.
That throw, John, if you were to put a glove on second base and had the catchers try and hit the glove, he would have hit the glove yesterday in Game 5, elimination game of the ALDS. I mean, the pressure, big home run against the Guardians, that hurt, that helped them beat the Guardians. And he's been up and down offensively, but he's never let it affect his defense and the way he catches. And yesterday he had 2 big hits, but his season unfortunately comes to an end. But I love watching Dylan, and we're going to try and get together maybe with Dylan Dingler and Kyle Nicholas, and thoughts and prayers going out to the Nicholas family as Kyle lost his father recently. So, heavy heart there. Aiden Longwell having a great minor league career now with the Colorado Rockies. And so a lot of these football guys, right, going on and doing things in other sports, but professionals. And of course, you got to talk about Harold Fannin Jr. too, right? I mean, Harold's highlights every Monday at 5 o'clock. We relive what the McKinley Bulldog did for the Cleveland Browns, number 44 for the Cleveland Browns, and Dominique Robinson with the Bears from McKinley, and Thayer Munford's on the practice squad for the Browns from Massillon as well. It's so cool to see these kids go on and do big things.
Well, and I'm pretty sure last night that in the WNBA, the Aces just locked up another title, and Kirsten Bell, the former McKinley Bulldog, plays for the Aces. So we have success everywhere going on. And as I said, I was talking to some of the assistants last night, and ultimately that's the hope, is that, you get these kids that are special and, they have the ability to move on and play at the next level. And you can tell who those kids are from now, Kenny. Yep. And every Friday we get to watch them break down their film and have them on the huddle the next day. And hey, I could not be more thankful. Week 8 in the books, and I know week 9 is gonna do us even better. And then, hey, we have week 10 after that, which is just gonna be mayhem when it ensues.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So keep it locked to WHBC. Pam Cook in the morning at 5:30. Kenny and JT, 3 o'clock Monday through Friday. And then check WHBCsports.com for all of our games that'll be scheduled because we're flexing the last couple of weeks, folks. So we're still figuring out which games we're going to do in Week 9 and Week 10. And, of course, we'll close Week 10 with McKinley and Massillon. But check out the webpage and you'll find out where we're at. But you'll know for sure that on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. we'll be right here on the Huddle.
Catch you guys next week. Have a great day, everyone.